Welcome to episode 3 of Little Life Chats. This week's guest, very exciting. I'm sure everyone will be very excited to hear from these two lovely ladies from the beautiful country of Ireland. Girls, welcome. Aimee, Blaithin Mackin, welcome to the pod.
Thanks, good to be here.
Oh, it's very exciting. I'll start with you. How are you just going? What has it been, like 6 weeks?
6 or 7 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, in the country. How's life in Australia?
Yeah, it's been great. The weather's been good this time. I was over last year for 4 weeks, so it was a wee bit more rainy last year, so it's been nice. But I've settled in really well, and I've enjoyed it. Enjoyed training with all these girls.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you're enjoying it because it looks like you are and you're going very well. On that, I guess your family, you came out last year to support B. How long were you here for? A month, you said?
Here for 4 weeks and then home for a week and then back out for the grand final.
That was just silly. Why did you go home?
Yeah. She had to go home. She had to go home for the All-Star Awards. Got an All-Star, then came back.
Yeah, just for being famous.
Just
being famous and winning awards and stuff like that, yeah.
Places to be.
But you're clearly a very tight family and you've had a lot of your family out the last couple of weeks. But I guess growing up in a very sporting family would be a huge influence on, I guess, where you're both at now.
Yeah, I think, well, we have a big family for a start, so there's plenty of us at home. But yeah, we're pretty close, like everyone. There's 4 of us still left in the house or 6 of us all together in the house, but like 2 of our sisters live right beside us, so constantly, every day we probably see each other. So yeah, to get them all out here, and I think last year me, Mum and Connor got out for the grand final was brilliant, so hopefully a few more of them to come out this year. But yeah, we were lucky last week, obviously. There was a full squad of us here. There's more of us in Australia than there was back home. But yeah, no, it's nice. I think when you're so close to your family, obviously FaceTimes are easy, but it probably isn't the same as meeting them in person.
What is it like? Because you've all played it. Or who's played Gaelic at? Is it Armour? Is that how do you say it in like a Australian non-Irish accent?
Know. So we would say
I'd say Armour.
Armour? No, Armagh.
Armagh.
But that's like obviously the way we say it. I'm trying to think what we
spell it.
I don't know how to say it in like a.
Have you got it in writing? Have you seen it in writing?
Yeah, I've seen it in writing. It's just
the GH probably throws
you off. Yeah, the GH is confusing.
It is. It throws you off. But
I feel like I've shown a few people recently like the spelling of all your family's names. Connor's a bit random. It's like got a double A and a I and a R and an E and then like Owen, your boyfriend. Yeah. That one's a bit confusing. Yeah. Blaithin
there's a TH in there that doesn't mean anything. So yeah,
it means a lot. It means a lot to us.
It means a lot. Armagh is what we would say. So.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's good to know.
Yeah,
but was your
Goldie and she'll say a different way of saying
Goldie will say it differently?
Just with her accent probably sounds a bit different, but yeah.
Because she's got the northern... the southern, yeah, okay. God, my geography's wrong. But was your dad involved in the club as well?
Yeah, so Dad... was massively involved in our local club. He was the chairman for years, and like he's not at the minute, but he probably got us into Gaelic, and yeah, he just loved Gaelic a lot, and he always followed Armagh through the years, so he always went to the games with him whenever we didn't really have anybody on the team. And then it's sort of Mum was good too at taking us to different sports. Probably she took us to soccer a good bit, so yeah, she loved that side of it and trying like doing as much as we could, which was good. And yeah, Dad was he loved watching soccer as well, but he was really the one personist for Gaelic as well, which was and we love it all. We all love it as much as he did. Even like Yasmin and Lana, who don't play, like they still love Gaelic as much as he did and as much as the rest of us do. So yeah, Kieran and Connor were on the Armagh panel this past few years, and then me and Aimee were on the Armagh panel. So yeah, Mum and Dad love that.
You say Alana didn't play, but she did play, didn't she?
She did.
In the mums.
She went to Gaelic for Mothers, which is a great thing the AFL should try and do. AFL for Mothers. It's a great entertainment for everybody. And the mothers at home, and it's sort of like plus 25, but the mothers at home love it. It is like the best of fun for them. They take their kids, such a social thing. Like, Alana loved it when she went, but she needs to get back into it. So if Alana's watching, she needs to go back to her training.
Yeah. Get back to it.
Before we left to come here, I think she had her first game.
Yeah.
I think she maybe lasted 10 minutes before she cramped.
She cramped.
And, yeah, I don't think she went back. I actually asked her when she was out last week. She says, haven't been back since. So this is her call to get back out and at it. But yeah, it's fun. It's good fun to watch.
Yeah.
And it would just be so cool, I'm sure, to have the four of you all playing at the same club. Like, clubs just mean so much, like to families and just like the community and stuff like that. It just must be such a special thing to do. And then also to have so much success at the club.
Yeah, no, I think club's probably where it all starts for everybody. County's a bonus for maybe how you do at club level. So at club level, it's all the people from like our own village as such that are putting in. They're just volunteers, and they're your family, your friends, and they're the people you grow up with. So yeah, I think club is the most important because it's what starts you off, and only for them you wouldn't be playing. So we probably wouldn't get this opportunity to come out here either.
And the whole of Shane O'Neill's is our club. The whole of Shane O'Neill's are now Melbourne Demon fans too. They're all big supporters, so it's good.
Who's the best out of the four of you that all sort of play properly?
Aimee.
I'm excluding Alana and Yasmin. Yeah, sorry, girls.
Yasmin,
Sorry.
aren't part of this. Aimee, we'll give that to Aimee.
No, well, you've got an extensive. You've got a very extensive sort of resume in terms of what you've been able to achieve. All Ireland finals, the All-Star medals, things like that. You got robbed of one. Do you want to take us through the story about how you got robbed of the highest accolade?
I didn't. COVID years and stuff just don't play a part. So just not. I don't know. I think
the COVID year, like we call it an all-star, but I think
it was different COVID year. They done like a team of the year, so yeah.
But we still say Blaine has an all-star. Like
I don't.
Yeah, you do. To all of us who know you and who understand the circumstance, it was a COVID year, but it still matters.
Yeah. Thanks.
Exactly.
Thanks, girls.
Probably matters more.
Your resume would be better if Goldie didn't steal Amy's thunder.
Oh well. Yeah.
Goldie stitched you up one year and just pipped you at the post. No.
No.
Yeah.
That was no.
Didn't
she won that year. Goldie was nominated as well, which is funny because we both so it's like the players play.
Yeah, the players player.
And you vote at the end of the season who you want to vote for, and we both voted for Goldie. Because she had an amazing year. Yeah, we didn't even know her. Well, not know her, but like we obviously just played against her. She was just an opponent. And yeah, like we voted for her because she had an amazing year and she won the All Ireland that year. And then it came. So then they put out like the top three, sorry. And it was Aimee, Goldie, and I think maybe Carla Rowe, was it? Like another Dublin girl. And Dublin had beat us in the semi-final, so I was like, oh no, I've just voted for this like girl, Sinead Goldrick, and now Amy's going against her. I was like, see if she wins, and Aimee did, but Aimee ended up winning it.
Oh, so you did win, yeah, okay,
but like
deservingly so.
That was the individual. But the match, Dublin beat us in the semi-final.
Yeah, don't worry about that. We don't need to talk about that today.
Goldie won the one.
Goldie won the one that you want to win. She won the All Ireland, but
well done, Goldie.
Go you!
Yeah, congrats.
Just the five of them. She has. It'd be nice to have what she has. I'd rather her list of honours.
Maybe in time. And you mentioned just a bit earlier that your mum was good at taking you to other sports. The other sport mainly soccer.
Soccer, yeah.
And you represented Ireland, was it?
Yeah.
At the highest level?
Northern Ireland, yeah. So we all played a bit of soccer, but yeah, it was a lot of travelling to play international. Like we were up and down the road to Belfast and 2 or 3 times a week, as well as Gaelic training. So yeah, I think you only realise maybe when you're this age how important that is, that parents and the influence they have. And yeah, if she hadn't have took us, we wouldn't have got the opportunities that we got. And yeah, it's probably hard at the time for her. She was probably thinking, this is a pain in the backside. But it was all worth it and it worked out well. So yeah, we have to thank our mother.
Yeah, we were pretty lucky too. There was a couple of girls from our area at the same time. We're all doing the same thing. Like two Amy's best friends, and then one of my friends was sort of doing it as well. So yeah, their parents as well they all sort of shared, and they were all just supported us all the whole time. So yeah, we were lucky that it wasn't just us two and it wasn't just mum, but there was other families doing it too. So Yeah,
But I think
but
it was
mum
good.
was like,
Takes a village.
Yeah.
takes the town, takes
I
the
don't
village
know.
to rear children. That's
Yeah.
what they say.
About you, like, or whatever. But I think playing a lot of sports when you can.
Yeah.
Like obviously, as you get older, you've
Then you eventually have to
prioritises
stop.
and yeah, you eventually get narrowed down to one. But I think just trying everything was the most important thing.
Yeah.
What did
we
you like
love
better?
soccer.
I always did love Gaelic better, to be fair. You were probably 50-50 for longer than me.
I loved playing soccer. I still would love to play soccer if we had time, but we don't. And there's no real off season, so yeah, I love watching soccer as well. Like we'd be a big fan of watching the soccer in the Premier League, but no, I think Gaelic's always number one. I think where you grow up is like that's the only thing we talk about. It's the same. It's funny when you come over here. It's like how everyone was talking about the grand final. Like I'm like that's.
Yeah,
What
the
life's
best.
like at home, only just on a
The
smaller
best
scale.
part was going to the Mithens, and Thursday night after the game I was like, am I back in Camelot? Because this is literally like what we do.
Yeah.
So, well, to explain it obviously to anyone listening, we went to the Mithens after the Geelong game and had a lovely overnight stay. But when we got back to the house, I give it a good recommendation, so I will. We got back to the house, the match was already on the TV. I think it was like maybe 2 hours after the game.
Yeah.
The match was on TV.
Ready
Anthony
to
and
press
Jeff were slating their daughters. Jeff was giving Kate a good going over. But no, like it's just funny because like the way they were talking about like how you played and like rewatching the game. Like as soon as we get home from our games at home, Dad has it on the TV rewatching it, and it's like, you know, what do you do this for? What's that? And then, you know, you get to the criticism and all that there, but it's so funny how similar like yous are. And like, I think that's like what's so good about coming over here. Like we all, even though it's like different sort of obviously upbringings and like all that there sort of stuff with Gaelic, like our love for Gaelic is the same as your love for AFL and AFLW. And like now we've got that only in the past 2 years, but yeah, it's so similar. Like that was so funny. Like, love that.
Yeah, it would have been funny. How funny was, so Jeff Hall, and he was just like, oh, Kate should have kicked 8. Yeah. And then the number just kept growing, didn't it?
If we had been sitting there any longer, it would have been up to 20.
The team at Zurich Insurance have been protecting Australians for over 100 years, from individuals and families to businesses large and small. They're your go-to life insurance, income protection and business insurance. So check out their website or speak with your financial advisor to see how they can support you. Now, let's head back to the podcast. It's funny because we only know our love for footy and our footy being obviously AFL. But when did you first hear about Aussie rules? When was your introduction to our great
we
game?
had went to a few, I don't know if you remember the international rules.
Mm-hmm.
So Ireland played Australia. So that was probably the first time we knew of it, because we went to a game in Croke Park, and it was good because obviously it was a bit different to AFL because they used the round ball and stuff like that. But the tackling was good. There was a lot of fights happening.
Is that right? So they did round ball, but they played with tackling.
Yeah. So they played the tackling. They played with the posts, same posts as AFL, but they put a goal in.
Yep.
Can't remember the scoring and how it worked. But
I think it was like 6 points for a goal, like 3 for over the bar.
Okay.
And then your behind was still
Yeah,
there,
sure.
which is pretty cool.
So we remember watching them, and then I think a few of the Irish fellas that went over recently, you sort of be following, and then you hear
and
the
then
Irish girls have been over.
I think
Cora
for the
Staunton
girls
started.
it was like Cora Staunton was the first one that you heard, and like she had come over and obviously done really well. But yeah, you sort of had a background of it already from that down through the years. There was a bit of a link with Gaelic already, and then as the girls kept coming over, and then a couple of the boys started coming over as well, it just kept on being like more on our TV screens, or like, you know, you would have seen it on social media because the Irish channels would have been talking about it and following it, and like so you sort of got a bit normal. And like then our home channel, when the Irish girls grew, the home channel TG Car started showing some of the games and stuff like that there. So
they're showing that on
Yeah.
local TV.
yeah, they do it like at a
TV,
say a Saturday or Sunday at like 12 o'clock. They'll show one of the games from the weekend there.
Oh,
I think it
wow.
was like Carlton and Sydney Swans this weekend, but like, you know, something that an Irish girl's playing in, and they'll put it on the channel at a reasonable time, because some of the games obviously
Middle of the night.
middle of the night or whatever like that there. So yeah, it was like they show a few, and like a couple of hours have been shown, and I think they could at home last year anyways, like they could watch nearly all of our games from last season, and like it's the same this season. Like our ones don't miss a game really.
Oh, they would not miss.
No.
The Mackins would be tuned in.
Yeah, Alana and Kieran didn't get to watch it because they were on their flight home at the weekend. I think they went home and watched it then.
Oh yeah, of
And
course.
Yasmin has like tried to get it on her TV and it didn't work. So she got the 3 kids dressed out the door over to Mum's house because her TV wouldn't work. So she was like, maybe Mum's TV it'll work on. She got over there and it didn't work, so she couldn't watch it until the FLW put up the game, on their phone thing, on their app. So she had to wait. She was like not happy. She was like, why is this not working? Because what Yasmin, she just loves watching every single game. So.
And this is why Alana would be so stressed, because she's moving so far away.
Yeah.
10 minutes down the road. So far away.
Yeah, she's in the middle of building a house that we think's not close enough to us. We want everybody in our garden.
Yes, fair enough too. But so obviously you were then introduced to it, but how did you then make the decision, you obviously first over last year, to then actually arrive here and be like, yep, I'm going to go play, I'm going to leave home, I'm going to leave the game I love, my family, and make the move across the world?
No, I didn't find it
She's
that
ready to get going.
No, I didn't find it easy. Like, it's obviously a really hard thing because you are moving so far away. But I think whenever I started talking with clubs and it sort of started becoming a thing, I said, like, I remember saying it to Mum, because Mum was like, I don't want to hear it yet. Nothing's happening yet. So I remember walking up the stairs and I think, like, I'd obviously told just my house that, like, I have this opportunity to talk to a couple of clubs. Like, so Mum was like, sure, there's no contract yet, so I don't want to hear it. And I was like, but I'm just like free warning you, like, if I get a contract with a club that I like want one, or if I think I like the club and the people, then I'll say yes to the contract. Like, it wasn't sort of a thing where I was like, I'll get the contract, then I'll make a decision. I was like, I want to decide now whether it's going to be something I want to do or not. And I'd made the decision prior that, like, if the club's right and I get a contract offer, then I'll go.
What was so funny as well was when Blaithin told us, she might be doing it, we were all just sitting there like, yeah, right.
Yeah, no one took me
really?
on.
No, not that it wasn't going to happen, but she didn't say, like, she was just like, oh.
And then I had a Zoom.
Look into this. So we were kind of like, thought nothing of it.
Yeah, then I had a Zoom.
Similar to your mum being like, what contract are you going to sign?
Not that we thought she wouldn't have got
facts.
offered, but we just thought, it hadn't
But, like,
really
it
been
does,
spoken about in the
it
house,
does,
so
like.
we just kind of thought, right, that was it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're interested, and then no talk about it, and then next thing, I woke up one morning, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to Australia.
No, it wasn't as quick as that. It wasn't as quick as that. I had the Zooms with, like, whoever, and then got, like, contract offers, and then got one from Melbourne, and then I was like, I think that's the club that I want to go to. And then, like, Mum and Dad jumped on one. Or Mum was in bed. Dad jumped on one of the Zooms, and Connor came on, and you came on to one of the Zooms with Mick and Todd and stuff. So yeah, like, obviously there was that whole process. But yeah, I think I just made the decision before because it was one of those things I was like, I would love to do it, and, like, the idea of, like, more professional, and, like, it's so good with the girls, like, we still, and with Melbourne, which was the big thing for me, was that I could still play for Armagh. Like, I didn't have to leave halfway through the season, and, like, that was massive for me. And I had said that going in, like, if the club says, right, you have to come over right now, quit midway through the season with Armagh, I would have had to say no, because I couldn't have done that. Like, it's, like, good here because the girls all understand, and, like, Mick and Todd, like, everyone understood that. And I think they sort of respected it too, because it's like, imagine right now me just saying, sorry, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't have done that.
You just can't do that.
You couldn't have done that to the Armagh girls. And, like, it is hard because you have to, you're missing out in your club. But, like, the people at the club as well, like, were so supportive of me doing it, and, like, never batted an eyelid or never said anything like, oh, she's leaving us or whatever. Like, everyone just was like, oh my God, that's class opportunity. Like, you'd be silly not to take it. So that's why I had made the decision early. And then once I sort of, when I got the contract offer, then I was like, yeah, okay, I'm happy, I'll go. And then, it was obviously a good few months down the line. It was good because then I was able to focus on Armagh. That was done. I told the Armagh girls, and, like, the same as that, like, they were all obviously delighted for me. And then, just made the trip over, which was like, which I think it probably didn't hit me. I put it
Just
once
a little trip. Yeah.
I think that's what happened to us. It didn't hit us until she was gone then. Like, obviously when we knew she was going, It was just so chilled out. I think how you went about it.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
thought
what were you all thinking? Were you like, don't go? Or?
No, we weren't like that. We were kind of just like, there wasn't loads to talk about it in the house. Like, there was so much happening at home. Like, that, we sat down in the odd even and we were talking. And then it was like, oh, you're really going. And
yeah.
was it.
I don't
Then
think
it
I
didn't
talked
hit.
about it too much because like once I signed the contract, Mick came over for a weekend, which was pretty cool. Like he came over, I think maybe a month or two after I'd signed the contract, and then we talked about it that weekend. But then, like
That
prior
sort of
and
would be the
post
type
that,
he would
like
rather not talk about it because then it's like,
It was making it more real. Yeah.
So, yeah.
but like you sort of like
Talk about it. It's not happening. It's not happening.
There was like Armagh and stuff, and there was football and
Yeah.
like things happening at home. And like then actually the one thing I remember is that we got beat. So the sort of thing was like once you get knocked out of Armagh, then you'll come over basically within like maybe a week or two, like pretty quick because you had already started training obviously. And I remember we got beat by Kerry in the quarterfinal, and our Alana was pregnant at the time, and like obviously you'd be more emotional, you'd be more hormonal, whatever. And I remember seeing her walking onto the pitch, like obviously just after getting beaten in the quarterfinal, and I was like head in the hands sort of crack, like you are emotional yourself. And then Alana comes walking over to me, and Alana is bawling her eyes out. And I was like, in my head I'm thinking, Alana, like, you're never usually this emotional about a match. Like normally they just come over, hug you, and they're gutted for you. But like she was bawling. And then one of the other players, I remember Aimee Bellew coming over, and she's like, she gave me a hug, and then she was like, this is our teammate. Then she was like, this is you away now. And then I was like, oh my God, that's why she's bawling. Because Alana was like, once we got beat, she was like, Blaine's leaving right now. So like that was sort of
weird.
And then for that sort of hit me. And then whenever I remember I was in the airport with my bags because they left for a holiday the same day that I left for Australia, and I was just standing there on my own with my bags. I was like, oh, here we go. I'm going on my own. Which is quite funny, but otherwise I thought it was fine. Like I thought it went pretty smoothly.
Were you thinking at the same time that you would follow suit, or was that absolutely not in your headspace that you would?
I think we had a conversation when you were thinking of it because, like, there was talk about it maybe previous years, but I kind of always was like, no, I don't think so. Not because like we were watching it and it interested me actually trying it out, but then the fact of leaving, I was kind of like, I don't think
You could
I
leave.
could do this, and it's not just over the water; it's a brave distance. So then we talked about it when you decided you were going to.
I was
try
like,
pursue it.
there's
And
a chance that it could be, the two of us. Do we want to go together and stuff like that? There, and then
Yeah,
you
and
were
then I was
sort of
kind of like, no, I don't think so. That was at the start of whatever, 2022. So Brian went down the route and sort of followed it through, and then it just kind of happened this year. I took the leap, and I'm glad I did, to be fair.
after long
long
thoughts.
Todd Patterson was showing me some text messages between
So funny.
him and Mick about you, and
Yeah.
it was just like, she's in, and then they were like, yeah, she's in, we've got her, and then it was like, oh no, she's gone cold, she's left us on red, like she's not replying to us, and then it was just like, oh, and then Mick's like, do you think I can call her again? And Todd's like, no, don't call her yet. And it was just like full, like, when you start dating someone, it's like, do I message? Do I not message? And then like Mick's messaging Todd being like, should I do it? Should I not? And I was just like,
What's the right thing to
you
say?
could have been the one that got away, but no.
sure.
No,
You found
I
your
think
feet.
So
for
funny.
me it was probably just Brian's a wee bit more laid back maybe than me, and once I got over here on holidays, I was like, I can see why this attracts people to come out and try it. So I knew the football side of it obviously would be difficult to try to adapt, but I knew I'd enjoy the challenge, and I knew I'd enjoy the group because I seen what the girls and I seen what Mick was like. I knew I'd enjoy it when I was here, but it was just like, how do you say bye? Like, how do you leave? Like, it's not just, as I say, over the water. So that was the hardest part, but once I'd done it, then that's it. And I think it's easier when
It is so
when
much.
you're-
I think it's like it
When
was
you're
the
together.
thought. Like I don't know, like if everyone's the same, but you especially are like the thought of it is worse than actually doing it. Like once you're here, like there's us here 2 months already. Like
Yeah.
Well, it helps your family's pretty much moved out as well.
Yeah, exactly. So
Everyone's been here the whole time.
everyone's
So
been here. So like exactly like, but that's it. And it was the same with me last year. Like you you knew people were going to come out, and like it's just the thought of it, and you think you're so far away. But the hardest part is the nieces and nephews, the nephews and niece.
People probably think I'm silly because
But
it's
no,
only
it
4 or
is.
5 months. But it's like, you know,
It is
It's still a long
just-
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And it is like we're all so close, so it is hard. But it's one of those things where if you didn't do it, you'd probably be like, I don't know, like 20 years down the line, you'd be like,
Yeah, you'd
why didn't
regret
I
it.
just go for that
I
4
know.
months? Like, do you know, that sort of thing.
Exactly,
It's
yeah.
just at the time and the
I'm
thought
glad.
of it.
I'm glad now that I'm here and I'm in the thick of it. That I think
I'm
I
glad
made
you're
the
here
right
too.
decision.
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah.
glad.
I think it's just it's nieces and nephews. Your immediate family, obviously. I miss mum and dad, but they can talk to you on FaceTime. The nieces and nephews are just like they don't want time for you when you're on the
Yeah,
phone.
yeah, yeah.
They don't
They
get
just
it.
forget about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's obviously grandparents too. Like that's all part of it. But
Mm.
that was the only reason why it was hard.
Yeah.
Because I knew once I was here, it would be like this because I was out here already. But yeah, glad I made the decision.
Same. And B, when you first got here, did you expect to play so soon? Obviously, your first practice match was on the MCG. Your first kick, was it? Was a goal? Or you kicked a goal?
Yeah.
And then pretty much played every game,
Yeah.
win a premiership. Is that
Yeah.
sort of how you foresaw the future?
No, I remember talking to Todd at the start, like, and we were sort of like, you know, it's 2 years or whatever. Like the first year, just like break in, get used to the game. Like if you don't play a game, like it's fine. Like just get yourself used to it. And then the second year, like you can really go at it and like trying to get a game and stuff like that there. So that was like what I thought, because I was like this team's good. Like I remember talking to Goldie, I chatted with Goldie as well before I signed, and like she was like the team is obviously so strong, and like there's good players and all that sort of thing. And I was like, well, that's where you wanna go, where you're gonna learn off good people. But like at the same time then it's harder to get a game and stuff like that. But so I knew that, and that's what I was sort of thinking. I was like, I don't know if I'll ever get a game for this team. Like, and then obviously come to training and everyone is brilliant, and like the whole squad, like it wasn't just like the 21 players, right? The whole squad was really good in person. So yeah, no, I didn't expect to play as soon. I think the practice game was pretty cool, because I didn't think I was going to play at all, and then got like the last
Well, you'd been
quarter.
in Melbourne for what, like 6 days or something?
Yeah, a week. I think it was the first week.
A week, and then on the 7th day of being in this country, I'll just play on the MCG and trot around and kick a goal.
I
And
thought
it's going to be great.
I thought every game was going to be the MCG thereafter. Yeah, no, that was pretty cool. It was all a bit surreal, and then even like when I think back to the whole 4 months, and then the way it ended was like, this is the craziest 4 months ever, but like so good, like just the best.
Yeah, how do you actually reflect on that premiership win? Because obviously, for someone like me who grew up like dreaming of winning
Yeah.
a AFL premiership, and then I don't know, like you not as connected to the sport, but then just such a whirlwind. Like, have you actually been able to think and reflect as to like what that means, or is it just kind of like this was just wild and this just happened and I've got a medal and oh my god, what is it? Yeah,
the medal's sitting in my room and my nephews are putting it around their neck and walking down the stairs with it
I
on.
think for us, when we got home, like when we were out here, we seen how much of a big deal and what it actually means. But then when we were home, we were kind of like telling people like that's the equivalent of winning an All Ireland at home, which is massive.
yeah,
And then when people knew the extent, but I don't think you realise the extent until you're out here and you're chatting to the Australians and what it actually means. You see it all on the TV.
Yeah, I think, like when at the time, obviously you're just in it and you're just like thinking next game, whatever the next match is, you don't think about it too much. But then after, like, you're sort of like, oh, like, what? It is a bit crazy. Like, I didn't have that affiliation the way I do to an All Ireland, or like, you know, the dream for me growing up has always been winning All Ireland or whatever. But like, I think it was the group of girls, like, and especially Daisy was probably massive in that, like, in how much like not respect, but sort of respect that you had for like the accolade that it is. And like whenever you're going to games, I'm like, God, like I just want to win it for the likes of yous. And I think I said that after, because like it wasn't a dream of mine for my whole life, but like for loads of yous, I understood that it was from like the whole season, and especially obviously Daisy, that sort of as the captain, and like how long she had played and how much she had given to the sport as a whole. Like it was just like, I want to do it for them. And like obviously it is obviously unbelievable. I'm happy for myself too. But like, yeah, I think it was sort of doing it for the other girls was like pretty cool. And was pretty special, because I was like, this is something they've dreamed of. Like this is like, me winning an All Ireland probably, which was, when I look back, I'm like, that was probably why you were able to put so much into it and like respect it so much, because like yous all wanted that for your whole lives, which is pretty cool.
So cool. And then do you think that was a big reason as to why you wanted to come over, like that whole week and being there for our premiership and the celebrations that followed after? And
Yeah, I think that side was obviously good. That it was a fun week after winning the grand final. But I think part of that is obviously we're both competitive natured in our own sport, so it's natural to come over and be competitive and not just want to sort of ride the wave and sit comfortable. So I think once you're in the thick of it, the goal is to win a match or to win a competition that you're in. So I think that would be natural to think like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Competitive.
And then how have you sort of you've obviously been playing really well, but your transition into the sport, again, quite a short sort of pre-season that you had. But like your, I guess, ability to adapt to a new sport, how have you found it?
Yeah, it's been tough. Like, it's a challenge, but I think it's just embrace it. And I think I just went in with the mindset to learn as much as I could. I think the first scrimmage game I played, I was just like, right, I'll go enjoy it, play an instinct and work out what mistakes I made or what worked well from that. So I think that was like a trademark kind of thing to do, to just play an instinct and find out what worked and didn't work, and then just take from there. And then obviously the ball is pretty difficult. Yes, I'm used to kicking a round ball, which has no corners on it. So it's just about just practicing, I think, was the most important thing, and getting as much in, and then taking it like playing a wee bit like instinct, but then learning that it's not the same as home, so you do have to adapt and just enjoy it, I think, was the most important thing. And I think, to be fair, the group of girls, these are all so good and helping me, and then the manager Mick was, and all the coaches were brilliant.
The ball's obviously different. What other sort of quirks have you both found, I guess, about our game or the way our programs run, or what's been some like real key differences that you've found quite interesting?
A few small ones, like the first training I went to, the music was blaring.
Oh yeah,
the pitch, and I was like, oh, it's cool. Like, I actually was like, we could take this home. But small things like that outside of the sport is a lot different to home. I think as well, like I've said this to you before, like in the media and stuff at home, we're always like, you try to put yourself as the underdog. And like over here in general, the sport, it's not an arrogant thing. There's like a confidence in each team where they talk about like, we know the opposition's strong, but we believe we can win. And it doesn't... I
think everything's really honest in the media over here. Like, there's no trying to hide like, oh, such and such is going to play this weekend, but we'll say nothing. Like, so the opposition, they're just like, so they're in the team and that's just it. And like, there's the honesty with that, and then they're like pretty honest with and open with their like game plans.
Yeah.
And like even the fact that the men's team and like training Goshes, which is like a really open place, like literally anybody could come watch, like that's probably a bit different to home. It's like, it's a bit more like sort of private in that sense, and like you would keep your cards close to your chest.
I think that was
if you're doing media and stuff. Like, obviously there's a certain aspect to it, but like you wouldn't be sitting talking about your game plan the way I feel like they do over here. Like they're pretty like, what we want to do is this on the media, and it's like, oh my god, they're literally telling
the game plan.
But at home you wouldn't do that,
because at home we always sort of go for like, this opposition is going to be really strong, we'll just go out and try to do our best. And it's kind of like you always put yourself down. Actually, you heard someone from home talking about it there recently in a podcast. It is that kind of, you're always trying to make yourself the underdog kind of thing, which it's just sometimes doesn't work.
It's just a bit different, like I think, and that probably comes with like the professionalism over here and the fact that they do have to do so much media and all that there sort of thing. Like, it's probably just not as big at that at home because it is amateur. But the
tackle as well in the sport.
The tackle. And it's you both adapted to that very well. Like, contact hasn't been something that I feel like either of you have shied away from.
Yeah, it's actually quite enjoyable.
It's enjoyable.
Because like this rules at home are obviously different. You don't tackle in the way you do over here. So it's quite enjoyable to actually go, like, we train like obviously pretty similar at home in terms of like your gym work. Like, you're always trying to get stronger, and like it's just fun over here to be able to actually use it. At home sometimes you can only use it in like your running capacity or that sort of thing. you don't actually get to use your strength in terms of tackling. So it's quite fun to actually, like, even just learning how to do it and like tackle right and all. It's pretty enjoyable.
Yeah,
The awareness of
Get a bit of anger out.
expecting a tackle, but then realizing, I can tackle like that. I think that
Yeah.
was the weirdest thing. Because I was like,
the
obviously
360 aspect is
we go
crazy.
for the ball. You have to be seen to be trying to dispossess the ball at home. But I was like, oh no, Mick was telling me like, you
Go
can
at the
Go.
ball.
Yeah. Attack.
Literally.
Like, how far could you go? But
Yeah.
that was a big difference. Which
Yeah,
was
for
fun.
sure.
It's pretty good.
And B, you presented Aimee with her first sort of playing jumper now 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
How was that experience? And then just playing together. Obviously, you've played together for your whole lives pretty much, but then playing a brand new sport in a brand new country.
Yeah. No, it was pretty cool. It was just good to get to see Aimee like play in an AFLW game, like, because obviously when you're coming over here, that's the first goal is to get a game. So yeah, I thought it was fun, and obviously having the family out here was class. Like, it was just really good. And yeah, I was probably more nervous for talking before the game with the jersey presentation than actually for the game. It's
It was so nice,
daunting. But yeah, no, that was cool. Like, and obviously, having Goldie here as well, like the 3 Irish players, like, it was pretty fun. Like, I loved playing with Goldie last year and stuff. And yeah, then Aimee getting to do that too. Yeah, it was good.
It was so special. I feel like I just kept looking at at Alana especially, just like bawling her eyes out, and then I'm just like, I'm going too.
Alana is becoming the crier. She's the crier
She's
of
a
the
crier.
house.
Yeah, no, that's, but so am I.
We'll give her that. But yeah, if you look at Alana, you set yourself off too. But yeah, no, it was nice, and it was pretty cool to get to do that. Like, I probably wouldn't have expected that I would be giving her jersey or whatever, and like being able to just we pretty much chat was pretty cool.
Very cool. Well, we all love having you here, and we look forward to seeing you again this Saturday in action against the Crows. I will just mention we do have half price adult tickets for the podcast listeners this Saturday, $5 tickets, and under 18s get in free. So hit the link in the show notes to get your tickets. Girls, it's been an absolute pleasure. Look forward to seeing you strut yourself again this weekend. And
Thanks
that's
for
just
having
it.
us.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Everyone get down to Casey Fields.
Yeah, get down to Casey Fields. See some absolute speed in action. Love it. No, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, Lil.